Welcome in, college football backers. We are back for another college football playoff show. We got Brian Buckeye Stats, and we got our boy from down south, Vandy Chris, representing the SEC in here. So we got to get ready for another merit-based model brought to you by Brian Buckeye Stats. So all of this is done. Hey, you know what? I'll let the developer describe it. Go ahead and tell us about this model a little bit before we get in the weeds.
All right, sounds good. So pretty much what we did with this model is we stripped away all of the AP polling, all of the coaches polling, all of that data that people kind of get up in arms about. And what we pull in is stuff exactly well, we don't have an official name for it yet, but we're unofficially calling it the merit-based model. And exactly that's what it is. It's based off of merit. How are you doing on the field? So we're pulling in data from PFF. We're pulling in data from your statistical performance on the field, such as defensive metrics and offensive metrics. So we'll pull all that data in every week, and how are all 136 teams performing on a weekly and seasonal basis, and we also put in how they performed against their opponents and their opponents' and so the model has actually done pretty well. If you've been following along with us, it has done well in predicting some upsets, some spread busters. I think we had one this week where it predicted the close game against Oregon and Iowa. We were off. I don't remember the exact score. I think
by 1 point for each team. It was, what was the final score of that? 16 to
18, 16 or
16, and we had, and your model had 17 to 15.
Yeah, it was a 2-point score by the model. It was just off by the exact score, and so it's done pretty well, and we're pretty excited about it. We probably need to tweak a little bit. Obviously, the game is played on the field and not in the spreadsheets, so obviously there's different variables, but we're excited about it, and this is what we're using for our playoff projections.
Are we ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
So we had a little bit of a snafu with the graphics. So we have to stop at 8 and upload another video, but we're going to go until then because it's uploading right now. So bear with us if that comes up. Here we go. Without further ado, this is the college football playoff prediction brought to you by the merit-based model. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to count down from 12 to 1. And it's
sounds like a good
slowly added to stage. Maybe.
Gotta love technical glitches sometimes, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, boom. Add. Here we go.
Yeah, and obviously I know what's coming up, and at 12, while you load this up at 12, we're going to probably have a lot of eyebrows raised at number 12.
12 was the big one, kind of like last week, because Iowa was in there last week, and it kind of looked like the model had Iowa right a little bit.
Well, no, actually Iowa was in at 8. If you remember, 12 is typically probably going to be your G5 guy. I think we had Memphis in at 12 last week, so
boom, here it is.
We go.
What now does that shock anyone? Vandy, I know you haven't really paid attention to this. So San Diego State, what do you got to say about San Diego State being in there at 12?
After their performance on Friday night or Saturday night against Hawaii, I don't see how any metric would put them above, say, a USF or a James Madison or a North Texas at this point, because they got absolutely belted, not just once or twice across the rear end. They got belted 3 or 4 times on the rear end and 3 or 4 times in the face by Hawaii. It was an ugly game for sure.
Didn't work out for you, huh? You didn't like that one?
I I don't see how a metric could say that performance put them ahead of any of those other G5 schools.
I understand that. Why do you think it's got it then?
Are you
Creator.
nerd? So I was just as shocked as probably everyone listening and watching was, because I was fully expecting some of these other teams like USF or North Texas to fall in there, and I was shocked, and I had to go back and look and kind of to defend the model. It's like, hey, model.
Right.
What the fuck are you doing here? So I went back and looked, and I was like, model might be onto something here. San Diego State, their defense is pretty damn tough if you're not paying attention. Right now, that defense is ranked number 6 in the country, right behind Ohio State and a lot of the metrics there. And when you get down to it, you look at some of the games that they played. They've played, San Diego State. I'm looking at it now. They played Cal. Cal is a good team. Cal just beat Louisville, and they absolutely throat punched Cal 34-0 earlier in the year. And who else? They played some other halfway decent teams. But you look at some other teams, and they haven't really played any Power 4 teams. And JMU and some of these, like JMU actually has a really good defense as well. But you look at it, and they really haven't played any Power 4 teams. So I think the only other team that really has is South Florida. South Florida, I think they lost to Miami, and they played and they beat Florida. And Florida at 3-6, but South Florida just doesn't have the metrics. South Florida, their D, I think, is ranked number 89 in the country, and yeah, they have a good offense. But I just think when the model put everything into account, it just likes San Diego State better. And I get it. There's an argument to be had there, but again, it's a merit-based model. It takes everything out, and it just, hey, how did you perform on the field? How did you perform against these other teams? And it actually takes all the lineage down. How did their opponents do and their opponents? And it just racks and stacks all that, and it spit it out. And it said,
but also it's not thinking right now either. It's thinking entire season. It's not thinking what you did Saturday. It's not thinking about what you did 2 Saturdays ago or the very first game of the season. It's thinking as a whole, what did you do?
Absolutely.
It's taking into account that Louisville beat James Madison. Cal just beat Louisville, and San Diego State absolutely beat up on Cal.
Correct.
So I get where the metrics coming from on that.
Yeah, and it's not like an FPI at all where it's projecting how are you going to do going forward. It's just where do you sit now, and how did you do previous to that. It's not looking forward and say, hey, how are you going to do going forward? It's just where do we sit right now? So it says San Diego State deserves it over the other teams. So there we have it.
Boom. I think we take that. Let's go on to the next one. Well, actually, Natty Time's in here saying G5 schools are just a first round bye for whoever draws them anyway. And you know what? Interestingly enough, San Diego State, if it's against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, that's like a home game almost. Because the first place Big Ten is going to the Rose Bowl. Michigan probably wishes they had him back, that quarterback. That's funny.
Right.
San Diego State has an ex-Michigan quarterback. That's good stuff. And we are going to get a lot of Ohio State fans on here because it's broadcast to my channel. So Buckeye Backers is going to get some heavy Ohio State leans on this show. Last time we had a lot of Notre Dame fans in here. It'd be interesting to see if Notre Dame gets in this business. So let's move right along. Number 11. And remember how this is set up. You could have 2 teams that qualified based on ranking, but got bumped out because it's got to be the top 5 conferences that get the automatic bid. So San Diego State was one of the top 5 conferences in the Mountain West that got that bump. So they bumped someone out and we'll release that at the end. Down to number 11, Georgia Tech. So it'll be interesting to see as we go down. Is Georgia Tech one that bumps someone out, or is that the highest rated ACC team?
So do you want to discuss Georgia Tech here, or do you kind of want to see how the rest?
Let's go into Georgia Tech a little bit, and then when we're ready, we can.
Well, see, and that's a tough one, because if we discuss Georgia Tech fully here, we might be revealing some other things. So do we want to continue?
Go into Georgia Tech's schedule a little bit. Talk about what why they are a strength team, why they're a top 12 team. I mean, you got Haynes King. You got, a good win, right?
Yeah. Right now, Georgia Tech, if the season were to end today, they would be considered the ACC champion. And the way our model stops right now, and I don't know if this is the way the CFP is doing it when they do theirs, we're considering, because they sit atop the ACC standings right now, they're the champ. Mm-hmm. We're not going to project who's going to win the ACC championship.
Correct.
You sit at the top of the standings. You're the ACC champ as far as our model goes right now. So right now, they are the ACC champ in our model. So take that for what it's worth. Maybe that's a Easter egg for the rest of the projection here. But for our model, Georgia Tech is the ACC champ. And I mean, they're one loss.
I'm not sure that anyone has a problem with Georgia Tech. I'm not sure anyone has a problem with Georgia Tech here at 11, right?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. No.
I didn't when it popped them out. If someone saw our actual ranking, like the actual top 25, they might have an issue with it. But I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with where they stand in our top 12.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Moving right along. Number 10, drum roll. And it will reveal Texas. Now, this is good for us Buckeye boys because we want Texas in the top 10. An SEC team is really the last place team that's, selected not to win their conference, right? Unless, they're not the conference champ, right? There's going to be higher SEC teams in this model. I mean, that's obvious, right? So non-automatic qualifier. What do you got on Texas?
Yeah, so so for me, Texas right now, I be honest with you, I didn't love it. Texas right now, total D, number 22, not too bad. But their offense, number 72 ranked, total offense. So not loving it, but they're creeping up. The model loved them. They were a true number 10. They're a true number 10 ranked team as far as our model goes. So I think the model liked the 14-7 first week performance against Ohio State. I think it valued that. So there you have it. What does our SEC representative think about that?
So I'm perfectly okay with Texas at 10. It's going to get interesting here in the coming weeks because they got Georgia this week. I'm not revealing anything about it, but that could potentially affect things in the coming weeks, right? Because if they take another loss, would they stay right there? I don't know if they would with 3 losses. So it's going to be interesting to follow Texas going forward, but I'm perfectly okay with them right there at 10. And if you go head-to-head stuff, they're tied with 2 other teams with 2 losses overall in the SEC. And that's Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, and they beat both of those. So they should go ahead of those 2 teams. So I'm good with Texas there.
Oklahoma. Vandy, do you think that means Oklahoma and Vanderbilt are out?
I would have to say so. Because head-to-head has to matter.
If head-to-head has to matter. And that's one of the things that is built into our model, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Head to head does absolutely unequivocally matter. And I call that the Alabama rule. We build that in that if you beat a team, and that's actually, a sneak preview into, yeah, one of the next teams. I call it the Alabama rule. If you beat a team and you head to head and you have the exact same number of losses, that's part of our model. You get the leapfrog. You should be ranked. You should be ranked ahead of them because that should matter. It should matter if you have beat that team. That should matter.
And that's what I like about this metric is because you've built that in. Whereas in the past, we don't know that the committee or the computers or anything took that into account in the past, because we've seen where some teams have beaten others and they got leapfrogged by the team they beat. So I'm glad that's built into this.
Well, and I'm glad you bring that up because as we get through this, there's going to be some dicey moments. So that's a good segue. I think
you let far ahead.
You let the cat out the bag, dog.
Yeah. Well, I actually had to upload the other video, so it's going to be interesting. Oh man, this is tough because it's already a little ahead. I think I can back it up.
All right.
And now I don't know which video is the one that's correct. And which one's the one that's wrong? So
we're gonna find out.
Bear with me. We got some major technical glitches here. All right. So we got San Diego State. Someone asked, they showed up late. Why is San Diego State in there? The model just thought that they had a better resume than JMU and Tulane. And who are the other ones up there that could possibly be it for SMU? USF.
North Texas.
North
Texas, USF, Memphis.
Yeah.
Let's see, an 8 touchdown. I do believe that beats Bryce Underwood.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Aiden Daniel. Oh yeah.
It's probably cheaper too.
A lot cheaper.
I'm sure it's a lot cheaper.
I don't know if anybody's got a cheaper quarterback than North Texas. So let's go to a tryout for walk-ons and earn a starting spot, right?
Oh my goodness.
Moving right along, we got all the way down to Texas, right?
Yep. We got Texas.
Briefly got to 9, maybe.
You showed a sneak peek of 8 and 9, but
there we go.
To 9. Okay, 9.
So last week, Notre Dame was not in here. How did Notre Dame sneak in here this week?
So this week, Notre Dame was in the fringes last week anyway. I think in our top 25, I think they were hovering. I don't recall, but Notre Dame might have been in our 15, 16 range. We had some attrition happen this week where teams were losing, but the model values Navy. They value Navy. Navy was a good team. And they had some fairly good metrics. So Notre Dame throat punched. They throat punched Navy. So that helped. So with some other teams losing and either losing or not looking as good and some of the metrics falling off.
Correct.
Just like we said last week, Notre Dame fans, I know you hate us. You hate the model. Maybe I call it Hal, like from 2001 Space Odyssey. You hate Hal, but I said,
not anymore.
Just give it a week and boom, here you are. You're sitting here at 9 and there you go. So
and it's really additive. So if your metrics get better, your wins get better, you're going to move up quickly. And it's not going to be something that stays pretty stagnant like some of the voters will. That's why a model is a little bit better, and it's a performance-based model. How you did, how your team's doing, what your stats are, how much you're scoring, how good your defense is, and a lot of it's based on PFF stats, right?
Yeah, it's PFF, and then also how you're doing on the field with your scoring defense, scoring offense, your rushing defense, rushing offense. It's all of that. So as one team drops and you do better, in all those metrics, and also your opponents. How did your past opponents do? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? And apparently Notre Dame, they're moving up. Their stock is moving up, and their opponent's stock is moving up as well, which is a good segue, maybe.
There we go. 8. Here we go.
Boom.
Miami.
This is a stock, and it shouldn't be, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I'm going to call this the Alabama rule. And the Alabama rule is if you beat a team and you have the same number of losses as that team, all things considered equal, then you should be ranked above them. And if it's good enough for the SEC, it should be good enough for the for other conferences here. And so I will say this, and I know, Steve, you and I had this conversation earlier. Excuse my French, I don't know what the fuck to do with you, Miami. All you Miami fans, I don't know what the hell to do with you guys. I don't know if you guys want to be good or not, because my computer and the model, the metric-based model, when I punched all the numbers in and I said, hey, we're going to apply the Alabama rule, the thing about fried, and I'll tell you why it fried, is because it's not a 1-for-1 here. You guys go and you beat Notre Dame, but then you lose to Louisville, and then Louisville does its thing with Virginia, and there's just like this whole 2-loss scenario
and then SMU comes in.
Yeah, and I punched it in, and then my computer literally starts smoking and frying, and I had to unplug it, and I'm just like, and then my glasses are already broken, and my computer's broken. It's just like, I don't know what to do with you guys, Miami. Like, do you guys want to be good or not? But here you are with the Alabama rule, so you're at number 8. I don't like it particularly.
How does Miami after every different coach that they've had? They always find a way to get ranked high and then just falter at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose another game or two. I don't know what their schedule's like, actually.
Yeah, let me see. Who do they have here? They've got NC State, which NC State is they're not a bad squad.
True.
They're not bad. They got Virginia Tech, and then they got Pitt.
Oh,
so
where's that game at?
It looks like it's at Pitt.
Oh,
so
we'll see what Pitt does this weekend against Notre Dame. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
That Pitt game with Notre Dame is going to be very interesting, because Pat Narduzzi came out today and said, I don't care if we lose 110-10. This game doesn't matter to us because they're not in the ACC. So,
really?
Yeah, what do you do here?
Why would he say such a thing?
Because somebody asked him about it being a must-win. He said, no, it's not a must-win. They can beat us 110-10, and it wouldn't matter.
If they win the ACC, I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
They still have to win the ACC.
Exactly.
That's a huge game.
My problem with Miami at 8 is you got Georgia Tech over here at 11 with a better record in the same conference. I felt like Georgia Tech should be ahead of Miami. Personally, on a personal level, I get why they're there because of the metrics, and the big win against Notre Dame. But then if the computer puts Georgia Tech at 8, everybody else drops down. Yeah. Somebody's getting put out.
But what's Georgia Tech's best win, though?
Georgia Tech's best win? Before we cross that bridge, let's throw some numbers at you. Georgia Tech's total defense right now, number 97 in the country.
Ouch! I didn't realize their defense was that bad.
Yeah,
that's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, Miami's defense right now, number 11 in the country.
Huge difference. I see where the metrics are coming from there then.
So, and Miami's offense right now, number 49 in the country, which is respectable. It's not too bad. Georgia Tech's offense is number 9. So while it's
they
Miami's
don't offset necessarily. Yeah,
exactly. Miami's more of a balanced team, one would say.
All right. So Miami boys in the cold should be interesting going up to Pitt.
Yeah,
that will be fun. I hope it's cold. I don't think it's going to be that cold this weekend, though. It's going to warm up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If it was today, that would have been awesome. All right, moving on. Who do we have at 7? Hopefully we have the right one here. Ole Miss, that's right.
Yep,
okay,
that's the right
we
one.
got the proper one in here, the proper video, because it was a little messed up. The head-to-head was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So, Ole Miss, any problems with that?
Not at all.
And now we got Georgia, so we just got Georgia at 6. We're going to keep it there. I'm not rewinding this. So, Ole Miss, Georgia, this is full of SEC. You got to be happy, Vandy.
Pretty close to being happy. Yeah. But I think that's absolutely accurate.
Vanderbilt's not in there. You're not happy at all.
I mean, we're still in the conversation, I think.
There's a way in. Yeah.
There is a way in.
But I mean, damn. 1, 2.
6 and 7 right there. I'm absolutely fine with that. Georgia did beat them head to head.
I suspect, though, that I don't know that the SEC is going to have this many in the end. One of my upset model challenges predictors this week is going to be Ole Miss and Florida. I don't know how it's going to iron out, but I don't know.
Your model likes Florida in these upset games.
It really likes Florida. It really likes South Carolina in the SEC as far as upsets. They normally play really good. It likes LSU as well. Those 3 teams in the SEC, Mississippi State, those teams really play well and get up very well against the better teams. Someone's crying about Notre Dame.
Everyone hates on Notre Dame because of those first 2 losses. But now there's other teams with 2 losses, and I get it, but those losses still look good, right?
Right. I mean, those 2 losses to that Notre Dame have are to Miami at 27-24 and to Texas A&M at 41-40. Those aren't bad losses, are they?
So,
Oh, yeah, I was thinking Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. Yeah. Miami doesn't play Pitt till the 29th. So, yeah, there is definitely plenty of time for it to get cold.
So, the model can't consider this. But remember what we have in Notre Dame. This is a team that went to the national championship last year.
Uh-huh.
They won 3 straight playoff games, right? Went to the national championship. Their only 2 losses are by combined less than 5 points.
Yeah.
To highly respected teams this year. This is not a bad football team. So people forget that's what they got in Notre Dame and they hate on them. But that's a really good football team right there.
I'll tell you what, though, Brian, your model loves the SEC because you got to have – there's still got to be 2 more. Your model absolutely is bent over backwards for the SEC right now. As much as you hate to admit it, it is. Look how many there are.
I do not like the SEC. I think the SEC is playing dog. I think the SEC is playing dog shit football this year. This must tell you that I am unbiased. I let the model do what the model does. I'm not telling it what to do or what to say or what to spit out. I just put the numbers in and allow it to do its thing. This is what it said. So I hope you're happy, SEC.
So, and to push back a little bit on that playing bad football, right? So you look at where the SEC's at. The Big Ten they're not going to get a fourth team in with 3 losses. There's not going to be a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs unless it's the G5 team or somebody pulls an upset in conference championship.
Yeah.
So you open the door for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And when you compare the SEC to the ACC, you're comparing teams like Ole Miss with 1 loss, Texas with 2 losses, 2 teams like Virginia with 2 losses, Louisville that just lost to a ho-hum Cal team that got absolutely brutalized by San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the metrics for the SEC teams versus the ACC teams are way better. So you're going to get that instead of the ACC replacing that.
What about the Big 12? And then there's a lot of SEC teams going after each other. I mean, it was kind of like
this end of year stuff in the SEC is going to be fantastic to see what kind of effect it has on the model.
Yeah. And also, like this past week, it probably would have been better for the Big Ten, honestly, for
Iowa to have won.
For Iowa to have won.
Yes.
Now they have 3 losses. They're out.
Yes.
I was gonna say not so fast, my friend, because I mean you got Indiana, you got Ohio State,
you still got Oregon.
You still got Oregon. Don't forget about the Trojans. The Trojans still got a shot to sneak in. You still got Michigan. I
don't care what the model is.
I'm just saying if Michigan were to beat Ohio State, they'd remain 2-loss team. I still wouldn't discount a 3-loss Iowa team. I'm just saying if a lot of wacky stuff happens and a lot of attrition happens and teams losing, there's a possibility Big Ten gets 4 teams in.
Yeah. 70% SEC fans want basically an all SEC playoff.
I wouldn't want that. But I look at it. I look at a team like Georgia.
Yeah.
Their schedule going forward, they could absolutely lose 2 more games. And then they're a 3-loss team.
Correct.
Because they still got Texas and Georgia Tech on their schedule.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? The ACC and the Big 12 getting shafted. Like they need to. It almost be good for each of those 2 conferences to get 2 in, just to know. Like you never know if they're. It's hard to tell. Like if that conference has a big year, you never know. But at least you get 1 in. I mean, it was different in the 14 playoff. You definitely didn't get 1 in every year.
If I'm being totally honest with myself, I wouldn't have minded seeing. Well, I don't want to reveal anything. Let's go forward and see if a team I'm thinking about is actually in here.
Okay.
I don't think they will be.
Moving right along at number 5. Bama. Dude, your model absolutely is bending over backwards for the SEC right now.
I hate you so much. and if you follow me on X, you know that I absolutely abhor Alabama. I cannot stand Alabama at all.
Because of the running offense?
Partly because of their running offense. Their average right now they're ranked number 120 in the country right now in rushing yards per attempt. That is absolutely atrocious. And then to have Ty Simpson even in the conversation for Heisman is laughable when he's averaging, what is it? I think he's at 66% completion percentage. I mean, just come on, man. Like, what are we even doing here? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. But again, they're only at 5 because of we call it the Alabama rule.
Mm-hmm.
You guys beat Georgia.
They beat Georgia.
Good for you. You know what? At the end of the day, you beat Georgia. You deserve it. So
the wins matter, man. The wins gotta matter. Especially in big conferences, they got to matter.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, 100%. I give you a hard time, but you know what? At the end of the day, you play the game on the field. You beat Georgia. You got the win. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how ugly it looks on the stat sheet. You got the win, so you get ranked above them. That's exactly how it should be. Because at the end of the day, getting the W is all that matters.
Survive in advance.
Can I break your heart a little bit, Brian?
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Break his damn heart. He's the one that created this nonsense.
So as much as you're hating on Ty Simpson being in the Heisman discussion, 2 of the 3 finalists in New York City are going to be SEC quarterbacks. You can take that one to the bank.
I honestly, I doubt that.
2 finalists are going to be from Ohio State.
No,
I think you're going to have Indiana's Mendoza, and you're going to have Julian Sane in there. And other than that, I don't know.
Ty Simpson and Diego Pavia are both going to New York City.
Are you drinking or smoking something over there?
No, I'm just.
I like Diego, and he had that, but I think Mendoza stole his thunder. I think he was the September Heisman that you're not going to think of anymore.
Oh no, he's the way Pavia's played the last 2 weeks.
He's good, but
those are absolutely Heisman worthy.
He's fun to watch. I'll give you that.
Yes.
I mean, maybe watch his dating life. I don't know.
Pavia's passing stats are similar to Archman.
I know, right?
I mean, he's completing 70% of his passes. I mean, that's hard to argue against.
I don't know. Maybe the guy who is the only person in the history of college football. Yeah, the only guy ever in the history of college football to complete 80% after 9 games.
He's almost too good for the Heisman. That's the problem.
I think he gets overshadowed by Jeremiah Smith too much.
We'll see. I mean, there's more of season to play, so Heisman will come down to what's happening those last 3 games of the season, and the championship weekend makes a big deal too, because now that's voted on. So you get an extra data point there for people to look at, for voters to look at if they haven't already voted. Pavia's got, he's got a resume that is something that can't be overlooked, but as of right now, I don't see him making it to New York. As much as it's a great story, and it's great for college football, and I think in a year or 2 from now, when Vandy keeps climbing up that ladder, having a seat with the big boys, it'll get easier and easier for them to win a Heisman.
This is me overlooking Diego Pavia's stats. I'm not even looking at him.
I think Reed has a better shot, to be honest with you, just because of how dynamic he is in the run game.
I'll give you that.
Reed's got an opportunity. It's
Pavia,
probably the
Arch
most
all
fun
have similar
Heisman race
passing
ever.
stats. Reed, Pavia, and Arch all have similar passing stats. Ty better, Mendoza next, saying best passer stats. I'll agree with that. But it's going to come down to what you do against the top level teams at the end of the season.
If Pavia can have
what do you think about what do you guys think about Mendoza having a Heisman moment against Penn State?
Oh man, are we gonna have this conversation now, or are we gonna finish the show?
We're talking about it.
I can go all day about that, man.
Just give us a short little brief summary of what you think about that. What do you think about Mendoza having a Heisman moment against Penn State? Does that count as a Heisman moment?
My opinion? Or
you think it does, Vandy? All right.
Yes.
All right. Brian? No? That's an obvious no?
No. I think that it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful college football moment.
Correct.
They went down the field. They were down to what would become a 3-16. They shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. But take that out of context. They were down. It was 36 seconds left, 3rd and goal. He got smacked in the mouth by 2 Penn State defenders, threw the ball. It was a beautiful throw. It was a beautiful catch. It was a beautiful moment. And as much flack as I am giving, Indiana fans, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. If you're a college football fan, it was a beautiful moment.
Absolutely.
But let's come back to reality. That was not a Heisman moment. Your team should never have been in that situation to begin with. A true Heisman winner, a Heisman quarterback, would have never had their team in that situation to begin with. That's just my opinion.
To me, I think it's
that's fair.
To me, I agree with it in a little bit. I think it's additive, right? What he does from here on, if you add that to it, it's like one of the other moments. Like sometimes you need multiple moments, and I don't think that Penn State comeback win was the moment. I think it was an additional moment. If he shows out against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, absolutely, he's winning Heisman.
So for me, a Heisman moment is, okay, Texas beat Vanderbilt's tail. They absolutely did. But a Heisman moment is, in that situation, bringing your team back in the fourth quarter
for sure,
21 points, coming back and putting up over 400 yards in total offense, and then coming back the very next week. And putting up 500 yards in total offense.
Correct.
And bringing your team from 10 points down at halftime, which wasn't his fault. Our defense couldn't stop him in the first half. But he absolutely put the team on his shoulders and said, we're not losing this game. Racks up 500 yards in total offense. Those are Heisman moments.
Yeah. To that point, like you said, Steve, picture this. November 29th, how long has it been since Ohio State has actually beat Michigan? How long has it been? It's been what?
1,600 and some days.
Four games, or whatever has been. Julian Sand goes into Ann Arbor. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say he goes into Ann Arbor, has a good game, and he and the team beats Michigan for the first time in four tries. That's a Heisman moment. Would you not agree, Chris? That's a Heisman moment?
Yes. Okay. That would be a Heisman moment. The problem with that, though, is who's going to get the notoriety? Is it going to be Sand or is it going to be Smith? That's the danger with Ohio State having two guys in that conversation.
I agree with that.
Sure.
That may be the ultimate downfall, having two guys that are going to split votes.
Sure. So we'll have to wait and see. Is he giving the ball out to Tate and Smith, other receivers? Is it only to Jeremiah? We'll have to wait and see. Then assuming they win, they go off to Indy to the Big Ten championship. Assuming it's between him and Mendoza, again, like you said, it's additive. Did he have a good game in Michigan? Did he get his pair of golden pants? It's additive. Okay, does he have a so-so game because he won in Michigan? Does he get a little bit of leeway if he doesn't have a great game, but they still win?
Or does he tank the first quarter and then Sang leads them to a comeback and wins the Heisman?
Right. Because you have to have a show. You got to put on a show, right?
You got to put on a show.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we have to put on a show, right?
Yeah, we got a show to put on. Let's go. Who's four? Let's get that top four. Texas Tech. Was this the one you were waiting on? I like Texas Tech, man. I think that they look excellent. So, that BYU win, an absolute smackdown.
Yes. That tells me what I needed to know when I was talking about Texas. I would not have a problem had BYU been in the 10th spot with one loss.
Love the Red Raiders. There we go. I like the Red Raiders too here. In this scenario, I like the Red Raiders a lot.
So as far as numbers go, Texas Tech has got to be one of the most balanced teams in this bracket. Total D, number 9. Total O, number 10. And if you are a stat nerd like I am, and I said this last show, when you dig into their front 7, man, those guys are ranked in the top 10 pretty much in every position. That D is.
I like them so much. I got a shirt.
Oh, geez, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that defense is something special, and they have an offense to back it up. They're a truly balanced team. So,
yeah, I like Texas Tech a lot. To start the season, I didn't really think that they were going to be. I mean, they got a lot of buzz with recruiting and how much money that they were spending, but then now they just pulled it together and showed it on the field. And to me, wow, that's a storyline for college football this season and maybe seasons to come.
And I agree with you. I was wondering, they were so far behind that I thought they had to spend that money to catch up.
Correct.
This is going to be the ultimate test, Texas Tech, as if you can go out and literally buy a championship.
Some of it was someone had to come out of the Big 12 and be that next leader of the conference because they lost both the leaders of the conference to the SEC. So where's it coming from?
Yep.
Someone had to do it. And Texas Tech was, we saw our opportunity and they jumped on it.
Yes.
A lot like Indiana's doing in the Big Ten. Indiana's putting the money into the program. And wow.
You see the teams you see the teams that are investing, that are making the improvements over the last 2 or 3 years. Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, Indiana. Vanderbilt's doing it in a different way, though. They're not spending big dollars like Texas Tech is. They're staying right there in the $8 to $9 million range, but they're investing it in the trenches on the offensive and defensive lines, which gives them a chance to win with any quarterback.
I need more NIL. Drill more oil.
I love it. That's awesome.
Oh man, keep it going. Keep it going.
Yep. Speaking of oil money, that's a good segue.
Yes.
A good segue to number 3.
Yeah.
A&M. Oh man.
That's more oil money invested in the right places.
So, from an SEC perspective, obviously this means 2 Big Ten teams, number 1 and number 2. How do you feel about A&M being number 3? Are they getting a little bit underserved here? Do they deserve to be ahead of Ohio State or Indiana?
At this point, I think they have the best win. Which is over Notre Dame.
Okay.
Ohio State and Indiana do not have a win over anyone in the top 12 according to the model.
Correct.
Oh, never mind. Ohio State does, yes.
Yeah.
My bad. So I could see Texas A&M in the 2 spot.
Okay.
But I'm okay with them in the 3 spot because obviously number 1 and number 2 are going to be Big Ten teams. They have to be, right? Because there's only 2 teams left in the discussion. One of those has to lose. And A&M sitting there in the right spot where they can jump into that 2 spot or that 1 spot if a loss happens.
I'd be all right with that. This is an interesting comment. Speaking of NIL, Alaska, where are you at with oil? Come on.
Yes.
Where's that Alaska team at?
Love it. So right. I'm not a fan of Texas A&M personally, and honestly, the model really isn't either. There's just no one there to fill that void. If you look at the quality points that we have here, there's just a void there. And if you look at the numbers, Texas A&M total D for all the talk, total D number 23, total O number 17.
I'm a fan of Elko. I like him. I like him as a coach. If you can do it,
That's
Sure.
interesting on the total D because their scoring D is absolutely putrid.
Yeah,
They give up a lot of points.
And if you go down to their schedule and who they played and the results, which is built into the model, it kind of tells a story. Like they played UTSA,
Okay.
42-24. They played Utah State, 44-22. And then again, they beat Notre Dame 41-40. Auburn, 16-10. Mississippi State, okay, they beat Mississippi State 31-9. Florida 34-17. Arkansas, model didn't like this at all. Arkansas 45-42.
Yeah.
Arkansas is last in the SEC. LSU 49-25, and Missouri, they beat Missouri 38-17, but Missouri is a 3-loss team now, so didn't really care for that much, even though it was a decent win. So I mean, who has actually A&M beat with the total D of 23 and a total O of 17?
I'd be okay.
Who's ahead of them?
Okay with A&M at 2. And Ronald Miller says, A&M strength of schedule.
I mean,
I'm
they
all right
beat
with
Notre
that.
Dame at Notre Dame.
Yeah. And I think there needs to be something said for that, where you beat a team at. If you beat a team at home, like, for instance, Indiana at Penn State, Indiana at Penn State
different.
Is different than taking Penn State at home. And I know Penn State's awful, but going there, it's a ruckus environment, and the game was close. So which makes that moment for Mendoza all the better, being able to do that when the crowd's really into it.
No, that's completely fair.
And something else, just to remind everybody about Penn State. That team is still loaded with talent.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
They just haven't been good this year. They got behind the 8 ball with injuries early, and it absolutely wrecked their season.
They got behind
the 8 loaded.
They got behind the 8 ball with offense to start the season.
Yes,
they haven't beat a Power 4 team yet this season.
Who's that?
And
Penn State.
But that's still a team that's loaded with talent. That on
this
any
season's
given
almost
day,
over. They haven't beat a quality team.
Right.
Well, also too, people need put things aside when you talk about Sayin and you talk about Mendoza. People need to give both of them their flowers, and including me. Although Mendoza didn't play a great game against Penn State. Penn State does have a great passing defense, and those quarterbacks aren't playing against those, Penn State's offense. They're playing against their defense. When Sayin played Penn State, they had the number 5 ranked
passing defense.
Passing defense. And when Mendoza got done with them today, Penn State is still ranked, I think, number 12 in the country in passing defense. So for all the issues that Penn State has, they still have a great passing defense. So what Mendoza did against them in the fourth quarter was still great. He still did it against a great passing defense, and that should be noted.
Penn State would beat Michigan on a neutral field. That would be interesting to actually know that. And then, all right, so we have Indiana, we have Ohio State.
Right.
Nothing surprising there, right?
Right. And just to button those up, just so everyone knows, Indiana right now currently total D 5, total O 6. Ohio State total D number 1, total O number 25. And partly why Ohio State gets the knock in the total O department is because that's based off of yardage and some other things. But I think that has to do a lot with, it's been well documented with the pace of play. And depending on whose numbers you go off of, the thought is that Ohio State is going to get anywhere between maybe 1.25 to 1.5. I've seen some metrics to say maybe up to 2 whole less games by the end of the season.
It depends on who you're comparing them to.
Right. Well, I'm talking about
Yeah.
yeah. Is it the average or is it another team that you're comparing them to?
Oh, this is good. This is a good question. Who are the first 4 out?
Ooh, all right.
So 12 was Utah, right?
Was Utah.
So they got pushed out. And they were ranked in the top 12, but because of the conferences and that automatic qualifier, Utah gets pushed out in order to get San Diego State in.
Mm-hmm.
At 11, Oregon was there. They got pushed out to get the top ACC team in. So, man, that's tough. If you're one of those 11 or 12 teams and you get pushed out for an automatic qualifier, that sucks.
Yeah, and I think for our model, like last week, we had Oregon pretty high, and we had even Iowa in at 8. And just because of the way the rest of the field had played, the way those two teams have played, we have Oregon at number 11. And Iowa, the model still loves Iowa. Iowa probably has the 2 best losses in the entire country when you figure how close they played Oregon this week. And they played Indiana the toughest out of anybody that's played Indiana this year.
For sure.
They have a wretched loss, and I think in Iowa State. But for that, they'd probably, be on the fringe this week. But we have Iowa in our top 25 right now at 14.
And then
kind of crazy to me, but that's what the model says.
So 3 of the first 4 out really were Big Ten schools. You have Oregon at 11, you have Michigan at 13, and Iowa at 14.
Yep.
In the model.
Okay. I think we had Pittsburgh at 16, Oklahoma at 17, USC at 18. So, and Georgia Tech was at 19. Georgia Tech snuck in as the ACC champ at 19.
Where's Vandy? Chris is waiting.
Yeah, where's Vandy in all this? Because
Vandy's
if you want to talk
15.
about
Vandy's at 15, right behind Iowa.
Yep.
If you want to talk about 2 losses, Texas and Alabama.
Actually, that's a good point.
That's pretty damn solid. And what hurts Vanderbilt?
What was the score though?
Texas was 34-31.
That's close enough, yeah.
And Alabama was like 27-9 or something like that. It wasn't very close. But we had opportunities.
Alabama. Yeah, Alabama was 30-14.
Yeah. But we had opportunities to make that look different.
Mm-hmm.
And got a bad call on a fumble in the red zone and threw a pick inside the red zone.
That's
2
interesting.
turnovers in the red zone.
That is an interesting comparison if you did Vandy and Iowa.
But what hurts Vanderbilt, right? When they beat South Carolina was ranked 9th. But now we're getting punished because South Carolina's turned out to be horrible.
Garbage. Yeah.
We beat LSU. They were ranked 10th when we beat them. They've turned out. They're no longer ranked. We're getting hit for that.
I see what you did there, Temple of Brutus. Those are 2 good losses for Pavandia.
So we've beaten 3 teams that were ranked when we played them that are no longer ranked, and they've went on to become horrible football teams after we beat them.
And there's something to be said for that a little bit. Like, you can't give someone credit for beating a team that was ranked when you beat them if they're not ranked anymore. But when they're ranked and you're playing with that confidence, football's a very emotional game. Mm-hmm. You're playing at an escalated level in some respect.
Missouri was another one no longer ranked. They were ranked in the top 15 when we played them.
South Carolina is good. Ask Bama.
I actually think Bama has shown some chinks in the armor.
Oh, yeah.
The last 2 weeks.
I'm on that train all the way, baby.
In my opinion, they should have lost to South Carolina because number 5, I think that's Germ, stepped out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
His touchdown shouldn't have counted. Well, if you call that right, there's no guarantee that they even scored the tying touchdown there.
So before we get off here, what's the biggest outlier on here? What is one team, if you had to take away, you would take them away and replace them with someone else? Or even just in the order?
I would take Miami out.
You take Miami out completely?
Yes.
Interesting. Then what would you do with Notre Dame?
They would have to be out.
Yeah. All right.
But you're looking at teams like a one-loss BYU. You're looking at, you got two other Big Ten teams with 2 losses. You got 2 other teams in the SEC with 2 losses.
Correct.
So
to go in for Miami or Notre Dame.
And
you still got Oregon. I think Oregon's still got 1 loss, right?
Yes, Oregon.
So Oregon has a way to sneak themselves back up there because they have Washington to end the season, right?
So you could take Miami and Notre Dame out and put Oregon and BYU in their spots.
I'd be okay with that.
And that's two one-loss teams replacing 2 teams with 2 losses.
Except for BYU just got it handed. They got BYU at 25 in the model.
Yeah.
They just got absolutely smacked though.
Yeah. But so did San Diego State.
Yeah, that's
and it wasn't by the number 4 team in the nation. You're right.
I mean, I'm probably with everyone else. The G5 team is just like bringing your sister to the prom, man. I'm sorry. It's just like that's the first round bye.
It would be nice to see Ohio State smack Miami again, smack them around.
But wouldn't it be fun to put North Texas in that 12th spot and see a guy who didn't even start for his high school, right? And he went to an open tryout for football players, for non-scholarship athletes, gets put on the team as a walk-on, wins the starting job. Wouldn't you love to see that story knock off a team like Alabama in the playoffs? That would be so much fun.
Now you're speaking. The other thing I would love to see, Indiana and JMU.
That would be interesting too.
Ooh, that would be an interesting dynamic. I think Oregon sneaks their way back in here by the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's that 3rd Big Ten team that gets in. Somehow
I'm actually wondering with Miami and Notre Dame, with the model set up the way it is, if it may have went to sleep on those 1-loss teams this weekend. And that's just me randomly thinking about stuff.
Yeah, like I said last week, this is all going to hammer itself out.
Right.
Week to week, because as these teams start playing each other, as we get to rivalry week, as we get to the conference championships, a lot of these things just they'll work it. It'll work itself out. It's already starting to work itself out because I mean people were upset about Notre Dame, and I was like, you know what, we got games coming up, and there they are.
Well, if Oregon wins out, they're definitely going to get in here. They got a tough road ahead.
Right.
So they got
Friday
they got Minnesota, then they got USC, and closing out the season at Washington.
And that's not easy.
That's not an easy road ahead.
I mean, Iowa was not easy. Minnesota is not a cakewalk. USC, and even though Washington, I don't know what happened to Washington losing to Wisconsin. That was nuts.
Does Ohio State stay in the top 4 after Indiana wins the Big Ten championship game? It depends on what happens. Probably. It just depends on what happens with the rest of the league.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it depends. It depends if it's a close game. Like hypothetically, let's play that out. If Ohio State were to lose in the Big Ten championship game, if they both made it, I don't know. It depends if it's a close game, what happens with the other conference championships. I think it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible. If those are the two best teams in the country and they play a tight game, very close, and you come out of that thinking, damn, those are the two best teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like watching a prize fight and they go toe to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, those are the two best fighters.
Still 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters if it's close or not. I don't see any scenario where 1 and 2 play each other for a conference championship. One of them loses. Either one of them drops out of the top 2.
Really?
That's just, if you're number 1 and you beat number 2, why should number 2 fall?
What if Texas A&M runs the table?
It'd be an argument for sure.
Yeah.
What if Indiana boat races Ohio State by 40 points?
That's a different scenario. That I could see them dropping to third, but not out of the top 4.
Oh, I think they would. If one of those teams absolutely demolishes the other one, and let's say A&M and like a Texas Tech like completely stratifies themselves in their conference championships, yeah, I'd say that they probably would drop to like maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5. Like even, and if the roles were reversed as well, if Indiana completely demolishes Ohio State, I think you have to. I think
they'll drop. It also depends on where the rest of the conferences lie and how many losses all these other teams have, and just how they look.
So here's a question for you. With the model being set up that head-to-head matters, just looking ahead, we have Georgia at 6, Georgia Tech at 11. They play each other Thanksgiving weekend in a rivalry contest. What if Georgia Tech were to win that game?
I hate you.
Would they still be matched? Would they still be matched up at 11 and 6? And if Georgia's 6 and Georgia Tech beats them, you have to put Georgia Tech ahead of Georgia, right?
See, then my computer is definitely going to get fried. There you go. Jeez, man. Thank you, Alabama. This is all your fault. See, everything boils down to being Alabama's fault.
No, I mean, if they do, that's end of the season. They beat a number 6 team. They're jumping pretty high.
Or as much as the model likes Georgia, what if they lose 2 out of their next 3 against Texas and Georgia Tech?
This week's model feels like an attack.
And now they're a 3-loss Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know. But to your point, if let's say they
3-loss Georgia's probably out.
I would think so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But to your point, if both Georgia and Georgia Tech win out, they play each other at the end of the year. Georgia Tech wins, goes off to the ACC championship, and wins the ACC championship. I mean, you're looking at someone that's probably going to be ranked pretty damn high. I mean, you're absolutely leapfrogging Georgia at that point anyway.
Okay,
you're a one-loss conference champion, and Georgia at that point definitely has. I mean, how many losses does Georgia have right now?
1 right now.
So they would have 2 losses vice Georgia Tech, who only has 1, plus they already beat Georgia. I mean, you're already going to be.
Well, you could lose the ACC championship game after beating Georgia, though, too.
Yeah, but
which would be even more interesting.
Yeah.
But you have an additional win, or you have an additional game. You make it to the conference champion. I don't know. How does the model deal with that? This is our first time doing that. How does the model?
If you remember,
it's to watch, right?
Yeah.
If you remember the college football playoff last year, they didn't penalize teams for losing the championship game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Since this is our first year doing this, I wonder how the model
because SMU still got in after losing to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting. Yeah, how? Because the model that's not built in. Don't penalize them for losing a game.
Yeah.
We might have to think about that before we get to championship weekend.
Hot takes. Maybe we can ask the people what they think. This is the people's model. Maybe we ask the people, what do they think?
We should, absolutely.
I don't think the committee's put that into play this year, that they're not going to punish them in a championship game.
Well,
because,
no, I think
because you're
that was
not even
last year.
seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year. I don't know that they'll do that this year, because you could potentially end up with a team in the conference championship lose, and that'd be their third loss. You have to hold that over their head. That's a third loss.
Yeah. Penn State last year losing to Oregon too.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I don't think, in my opinion, if you make the conference championship game and you lose to the champion of the conference, that should not penalize you for making it that far when no one else is playing. That's why I think every other team in the conference should have to play against the next rated team. Like 1 and 2 plays, 3 and 4 plays, 5 and 6 plays, just to get an extra game in for everyone else anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fun. Like, you actually have the standings that way, because these conferences are getting so big. Why not have an extra game for everyone?
So I'm going to have to get with you, Brian, on a model that I've come up with.
I agree with that.
And see if you can get your computer to develop something along my thought process. And I'll give you some heads up on what it is.
That's
okay?
right.
All right.
You disband all the conferences as we know them today. Just get rid of them.
Okay.
You limit FBS football to 96 teams with relegation.
I love relegation. I absolutely love relegation. This is off-season talk.
Talking about like European soccer rules here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh shit!
So
I love that.
You also factor in graduation rates. If you're not graduating your players, you're not in FBS football. Sorry, you're still a student athlete. You have to graduate your players. But limit it to 96 teams, divided into 8 conferences with 12 teams each. You play all 11 other teams in your conference for your regular season. Plus you get 1 FCS game. That's it. That's your 12 games. You have your conferences divided into 2 divisions, 6 teams each. You have an automatic 16-team playoff, with the first round of the playoffs being your conference championship. Your final 8 is nothing but conference champions.
That's interesting.
That's a thought.
So simple, right?
Yeah.
If we're doing realignment, let's do realignment the right way.
Well, we're not there yet. We're talking 12-team college football playoff.
There you go.
Let's wrap it up. And that is something that we think about for the off season. Anything else particular in the model that we need to talk about?
If anyone's in there with comments, I'm gonna be building a couple of models for upsets this week. Does anybody have any requests? If you have any, shoot them my way.
If you do, shout it out in the comments.
Can I shout one out right quick?
You can also get a hold of Brian on Twitter, Brian Buckeye Stats. Check him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a couple out here. One I was gonna do. I love South Carolina, but I'm gonna do South Carolina, Texas A&M. See how that turns out. I'm gonna do Pitt and Notre Dame. I don't know if that's necessarily an upset, but I think that'll be a good game. One that caught my eye, and looking at the numbers, I'm going to do Northwestern and Michigan. I'm intrigued by that one.
I just added in the comments to College Football Backers, cfbackers.com. If you want to check out any of our articles on there, go check them out, man. We got a lot of great writers putting in some good work, and it is, those upward graphs. That's what our views look like every week, just trending up, trending up, trending up. So there's a lot of people coming back. I should have actually downloaded the graph and brought it on here. The direct viewers, meaning people are coming back to the website that visit over and over and over again. It's good stuff, good writers. Check it out. And if you want a real quick little view of it, I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can keep talking until I get my screen.
Okay, all right.
So I got one for you to run, Brian.
All right, what you got?
Number 5 in the FCS poll Tennessee Tech, unbeaten, averaging 54 a game, giving up 15 a game, against Kentucky on Kentucky's homecoming. Somehow, Kentucky's favored by 22 points in this game.
Tennessee Tech.
I think Tennessee Tech is going to beat them.
All right.
That's interesting.
Look at that for a little bit. I'm going to take you into this. All right. College football backers, cfbackers.com. Articles from all across the nation. You got Cody Croy, if you're a Buckeye fan, getting everything out here when it comes to Buckeyes in the big league or commitments. You got Joe Rutland covering Texas for us. Adam Hicks is covering all of the Big Ten, basically. Tony Thomas, LSU, pretty much exclusively LSU writer right now. Anything that you want. You got Brian Buckeye Stats covering all kinds of stats for the Buckeyes. We got Owen Tyler covering the Badgers for us. And after that big win, he had some more to write about. We got Group of 5 articles by TJ Chapman. We got Michigan stuff from Mike Germanese. And I'm probably missing a lot of people. Vandy Chris gets them in there every now and then. And some good writers, man. Check it out. That's just a little bit of it. And it's real clean, real organized. Like if you want to get in here and read it, we don't have any advertisements on here because we're trying to keep it clean. And we're reading black background. All right. Looks great. Pictures will load on occasionally. Be slow because my internet sucks. But there we go. A little bit about the Hoosiers comeback. Just go and check it out for sure. Give it a shot. You'll come back. I promise.
100% recommend.
10 out of 10. We got a good group of guys.
Solid dudes.
Yeah.
All around. All right. Clemson had 3 losses in the regular season last year, but still got in with that conference champion. Do you think anything like that will happen this year? I don't see it so far.
3 losses is tough this year, man.
If you can get into the conference championship with 3 losses, I don't see anyone else doing that as of right now. But you never know, man. There's still 3 weeks left.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I like Iowa, man. If Iowa can somehow squeeze out, winning the rest of their games, I think they're probably the only team that might be able to do it. Maybe some of the bigger SEC teams, if they were to get a third loss, maybe one of them, and if they made it to the SEC championship, I don't know. But yeah, it's probably not going to happen for a 3-loss team this year. I just don't see it happening.
3 SEC and Big Ten, 2 ACC and Big 12, Notre Dame, and a crap conference winner. That's actually a good blueprint. I like that.
Here's a scenario for you. Let's say Navy beats USF. USF has got 3 losses. I'm not sure how the American is set up, but could a team with 3 losses and the American get in there, end up winning the conference championship, and really put some pressure on a James Madison or San Diego State of being a 3-loss G5 team getting in?
It has to be the highest rated conference championship. So
for some reason, the polls love USF.
Yeah, but I think if they have 3 losses,
even though they trail in their conference.
I don't think they will. If they have 3 losses, they're not going to be in there. They're not going to be rated.
That would be the one scenario.
That's it, boys. All right. We have exhausted this show, and I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed. Adios. God bless. We'll do this again next Monday. It's going to change. It changed this week. It's going to change next week. And I'd almost guarantee if Oregon wins next week, they're back in the top 12.
Probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out.
Agree. Peace out, guys. It's been fun.
Later, guys.
Thanks for joining us, everyone in the chat. And it won't end. It wants us to keep going. There we go.